This conference will
Chaturmukha
now be recorded.
Samarambham Vagbhadacharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ragadirogan Sadada Anushaktan Asheshakaya Prasrudan Asheshan Aulsukya Moha Aradidan Jakhana Yobhurva Vaidyaya Namostu Tasmai. So, we are continuing with the Dravadravya Vidnyaniya, and we were in Madhyavargam. We have seen, just 1 minute, let me take the text. Yeah, we were discussing about Varuni, and that is what we finished. Tadguna Varuni Hridya Lekhustikshna Nihanticha Shulakasa Vamishwasa Vibandha Atmana Pinasan. And we discussed the nature of these Madhyam, all types of Madhyam in general. We also saw what is the type of Madhyam, the type of alcoholic preparations that are the most commonly used type, 3 types which we saw. And we have to find out what really these stuffs explained in our textbooks are. In any case, I think they will not go beyond that threefold classification: wines, beers, and spirits. And we made many observations, many comments regarding that types in our last session. And we were about to discuss the next slokam. Nadi Tivramada Legvi Pathya Vaibhidagi Sura Vrane Pandwamaye Kushte न चाप्यर्थम विरुध्यते. व्रणे पांडवामये कुष्ठे न चाप्यर्थम virudyate. Regarding the Varuni, I think there will be many other parallel references, like that Varunyaha adhobhagaha ghanaha, that is called as Jagalam. Jagalasya adhobhago medagaha. So that sort of subtypes or different varieties based on the consistency and the precipitation status and everything is there. Of course, it is a very elaborate area. So that's all. Now we find Vaibhidagi Sura. Vaibhidagi Sura means Sura made out of Vibhidagam. Vibhidagam. Everybody knows one among the Trubhala. Vaibhidagi, something related to Vibhidagam is known as Vaibhidagam. Vaibhidagi Sura. That is na aditivramada. So the capacity to intoxicate madam, na aditivramadam, is not that high as far as the Vaibhidagi Sura is known as. This Vaibhidagi Sura is made out of, there are some differences in opinion. We have to try both. If somebody is trying to make it, try both. That means one out of the fruit along with that shali pishtam. Second is from the bark along with the shali pishtam, pishta shali. So both types. Then Vrane Pandwamaye Kushte na chaptyartham virudhyate. So it is not that viruddham. Na atyartham viruddhyate means not that viruddham in Vranam, Panduamayam and Kushtam. So when such a comment comes about Vaibhidagi Sura, that this Sura is not that bad in general in conditions of Vranam, Panduamayam and Kushtam, that means an extended meaning to that line, that rest of the suras are not good in, or they atyartham viruddhyade in Vranam, Panduamayam and Kushtam. So in general, all types of madhyam is contraindicated in Vranam. We find in Vrana Chikitsa, if we go to that Shastra Karma Vidhi, we will find that Navam Dhanyam Tilanmashan Madhyam Mam Samajangalam. That is the Navadhanyadi Varga, which is contraindicated, which is extremely contraindicated in all sorts of Vrana. Navam Dhanyam Tilanmashan Madhyam Mamsam Ajangalam. Ajangalam Mamsam, then Shiret Shuvir Viramlam Lavanam Kadugam Tijed Yachanyadavi Vishtambhi Vidahi Guru Sidalam Vargoyam Navadhanyadihi Braninaha Sarvadosha. And he makes a special emphasis on the adverse effect of Madhyam in Vranam, that Madhyam Tikshnoshna Rukshamlam Ashu Vyabadayed Vranam. So in Vranam, generally, Madhyam is contraindicated, strongly contraindicated, whereas Vaibhidagi Sura is not that viruddham. Same is Panduamayam. In Panduamayam, we find that, okay, it is one among the Nidana of Pandu. Devayam Amlam Lavanani Madhyam Mridam Divaswapnam Adivatikshnam. Like that, we find the Panduroga Nidana. So Madhyam and Amlam, they are the Nidana Khadakas of Pandu. So obviously that is also contraindicated. In Kushtam, all types of Amlam are contraindicated, and obviously Madhyam forms one among the Amla Dravyas. So that is also not good, that is viruddham. But as far as Vaibhidagi Sura is concerned, there could be some sort of an exemption. And it is observed or documented as Laghvi, commendably Laghu. That is why it is specially mentioned. Laghvi, Pathya. Comparatively, among all the Madhya, Vaibhidagi Sura is Pathya. So, Nadi Tivramada Laghvi Pathya Vaibhidagi Sura Vrane Panduamaye Kushte na Jatyartham Viruddhyade. Then another Sura, Yavasura. About Yavasura, it is noted that Vishtambhini, Vishtambhakari, Vishtambhini Yavasura Guruvi Ruksha Tridoshala. It is Guru. It is Guruvi, commendably Guru, Ruksha. So Guru and Ruksham, in certain situations, we may look for such dravyas, something which is Guru at the same time, which is Ruksham. So Yavasura is such a dravya. Guruvi Ruksha Tridoshala. Tridosha Kari or Kara. Tridosha Karaha. Vishtambhini Yavasura Guruvi Ruksha Tridoshala. Tridosha Karini. So that is also to be noted. Yavasura. So that is the Yava Pishtakridam Madhyam. Yava Pishtakridam Madhyam is known as Yavasura. Then next we find Vishtambhini Yadhadravya Guno Arishtaha. In Sangraham, there are a couple of more things like Kauhali Brahmani Guruvi, another Madhya Vishesham. Kauhali Brahmani Guruvi Shleshmalastu Madhulakaha. So Kauhali Sura. Kuhalam or Kohalam. Kohalam is a word. Kohalam. Something related to Kohalam is known as Kauhali. Kohalam is the inflorescence of palms like this coconut palm or the other types of palms what we generally see. So the inflorescence that is known as Kohalam. So the madhyam extracted from the Kohalam is known as Kauhali. So it is something like the toddy or whatever it is which is available, or from which some other forms of paniyam is also made, which is known as this meera and everything. So they come under this category of Kauhali. It is Brahmani and Gurvi. It is Brahmani and Gurvi. Whereas Madhulakaha, Madhulakam, something which is extracted from Madhulam. Madhulam is Madhukam. So that Madhyam which is made out of this Madhukam is known as Madhulakaha. That is Shleshmalaha. Madhulakaha Shleshmalaha. So such a couple of references we can find in Ashtanga Sangraham as extra. Then we find the details of Arishtam Madhyam. Some references regarding Arishtam Madhyam, which goes like Yadhadravya Guno Arishtaha Sarvamadhya Gunadhikaha. Yadhadravya Gunaha Arishtaha. Arishtaha Yadhadravya Guna. So Arishtam is another Sandhana Vishesham or Madhya Vishesham, and which can be made out of many dravyas. We can find how this Arishtam is defined by the Acharyas. It is like a Pakwaushadhambu Siddham Yen Madhyam Tal Syad Arishtagam. Pakwambu Siddham. Pakwa Aushadhambu, not Ambu, Pakwa Aushadhambu. So it is made out of Aushadhambu, Aushadha Kwadham. Pakwa Aushadhambu Siddham Yen Madhyam Tad Syad Arishtagam. So Arishtagam or Arishtamadhyam is made out of Pakwa Aushadhambu. Pakwa Aushadhambu means Aushadhambu, which is Pakwam. So practically it is the Shruta Kwadham. Using the Shruta Kwadham, you make this Arishtam. And that Arishtam is Yadhadravya Gunam. Whichever dravya you use to prepare Arishtam, the Arishtam will be of that guna. And Sarvamadhya Gunadhikaha. Sarvamadhya Gunadhikaha. Aushadhagarbhatvad. Because Aushadhagarbhatvad. Here, it is as far as from a Vaidya's perspective, Arishtamadhyam is considered as Sarvamadhya Gunadhikam because of the Aushadha Garbhatvam, as it contains the Aushadha Garbha within it. So it has the potency, or from the first line we understand that it is that Yadhadravya Gunaha. So if it is having certain Aushadha Dravyas, obviously the Arishta also will have will represent or reflect that Aushadha Dravya Guna. Then Grahani Pandu Kushtarsha Shobhodara Arsha Shobhodara Jwaran Handi. Grahani Pandu Kushtarsha Shobha Shosha Udarajwaran. Shobha Shosha Udarajwaran Handi Gulma Krimi Plinha Kashaya Kaduvadalaha. So it is very effectively prescribed in conditions like Grahani, Pandu, Kushtam, Arshas, Shobham, Shosham, Udaram, and Jwaram. In all these contexts, you can find different Arishta. In Grahani, you will find Pandu, Kushtam, Arshas, Shobham, Shosham, Shoshe, Sura, Anupanam. We have seen it. Here it is about Arishtam. In Raja Yakshma, I think there is one line called Mamsameva Asnado Yuktya Mardvigam Pibado Nucha Avidharida Vegasya Yakshma Na Labhadendaram. Mamsameva Asnado Yuktya Mardvigam Pipataha. So eat mamsam and use yuktya, use mardvigam as anupanam. Then avidharita vegasya yakshmana labhadendaram. Such a reference we find. So that is about the some sort of a arishta preparation. And gulma krimi plinha kashaya kaduvadala. Interestingly, when we go through the previous sections regarding the various usages of these Madhya Visheshas, we find that in many situations we cannot use the Madhya Vishesha, Madhyam, as the best prescription. Whereas in certain conditions, they can be very effectively prescribed. So the Vaidya should have an understanding about which all things can be used in which all contexts precisely. Then only this information will be useful. So that is about Yatha Dravya Guno Arishtaha. Then there is another preparation called Asavam, that also you may be knowing. Aushadhayuktaihi Madhyagaraihi Kridam Madhyam Asavaha Sa Eva Kodhidaushadhaihi Arishtaha. So that Asavam and Arishtam, we are using these stuffs in plenty in our day-to-day practice. So when this Aushadham is mixed with that Madhyagaram we have seen earlier, that Drakshekshu Makshigam Shali Ruktama Vrihi Panchamaha Madhyakaraha. So that we have seen. And when such a Madhyakara Dravyas are added with the Aushadha, and it is allowed to or subjected to the sort of sandhanam, it makes, or the result will be the production of the making of asavam. And if the same procedure is followed, but one exception or one exemption, that it is made out of that kodhida ushadham, then the result will be arishtam. That is the difference between them. Fine. So aushadhayuktaihi madhyagaraihi kridam madhyam asavaha saeva kodhida ushadhaihi arishtaha. So that is also to be taken care of. Then we will find a couple of more things explained here. Mardvigam leghanam hridyam natyushnam madhuram saram alpapittanilam pandumeharsha kriminashanam. Mardvigam is Drakshakritam, Mridvigakritam Madhyam. That is Lekhanam, Hridyam, Na Adyushnam, Madhuram, Saram, Alpapittanilam. When compared with the other Madhyas, this is Alpapittanilam. Then Pandumeharsha Kriminashanam. Pandumeharsha Kriminashanam. So that is about the Mardviga Madhyam, which may be, of course, can be prepared as an Arishtam as well. Then Asmad Alpandara Gunam Kharjuram Vadalam Guru. Guru at the same time it is Vadavarthakam. That is Kharjura Madhyam. This Kharjuram has got properties which are a bit different from those of Mardvigam, Alpandara Gunam, and it is specifically Vadalam and Guru. Then another one is Sharkaram. Sharkaram made from Sharkara. Sharkara Sambandhi is known as Sharkaram. It is Surabhi, Swadu Hridyaha, Swadu and Hridyaha. Nadi Madaha, as we saw in the case of Vaibhedagi Sura, This is also not that intoxicating, heavily intoxicating, and it is Laghu. Then Srishtamutra Sagridvado Gaudastarpanadipanaha. Srishtamutra Sagridvado Gaudastarpanadipanaha. Gaudaha. Gaudam Madhyam. Gaudam Guda Sambandhi Gaudam. That Guda Sambandhi Madhyam is known as Gaudam. That Gaudam is having Srishtamutra Sagridvada property. Srishtamutra Sagridvado Gaudaha, and it is Tarpanam as well as Deepanam. Tarpana Deepanaha. Then we come to another type of Madhya Vishesham, which is known as Shidhu or Sidhu. Either Sidhu or Shidhu. Vadapitta Karaha Sidhu. Sneha Shleshma Vikaraha. Sneha Vikaraha. Shleshma Vikaraha. Sidhu. Sidhu is a Madhyam which is made out of this Ikshurasam. It is made out of Ikshurasam. So that Sidhu Madhyam is of two types. Pakvarasa Kritaha and Apakvarasa Kritaha. Pakvarasa Sidhu and Apakvarasa Sidhu, of which Pakvarasa Sidhu, which is made out of Pakva Ikshurasam. Pakva Ikshurasam. Pajitam. Pakva. Pakva Ikshurasam is known as the Varaha best. Among the two types of Sidhu Madhyam, Pakvarasodbhavam is the best, Varaha. And the properties listed out here should be considered as owned by that Pakvarasa Sidhu. It is Sneha Vikaraha, means it can be used in Sneha Vyapat. Then Shleshma Vikaraha, it is very good in Kabhaja Vyadhis. Then Meda Shobhodara Arshoknaha, Medoknaha, so Medaharam, Shobhaharam, Udarakhnam, Ashokhnam. So these all properties you can expect from Pakvarasa Sidhu. Madhyam made out of Pakvarasa, Pakva, that Ikshurasam. Tatra Pakvaraso Varaha. Then Madhvasavam. Chedi Madhvasavaha. Madhvasavam. Madhvasavam is the asavam made adding madhu. Madhvasavam. Makshigena Sandhiyade. It is known as Madhvasavam. It is Chedi. Madhu is Chedi, so obviously Madhvasavam is also Chedi. Tikshnaha Mehapina Sakasajit. It is Tikshnam. Then Mehaharam. Of course, in a previous context also we saw this Mehaharatvam, but it should be used in, it need not be Prameham, or in our modern words, it need not be the diabetes mellitus. Don't think so, as long as your experience is not it gives some sort of a testimony about it. Otherwise, the patient will be in trouble. So Madhvasavam is also Meha Pinasa Kasajit. Fine. So that is about Madhvasavam. In Ashtanga Sangraham, we can find a few more types are explained, but I think most of them are like what we have seen so far, just based on the difference in origin. Different types of this asavam are explained. Fine. Then in Ashtanga Hridayam we continue with another type of preparation known as Shuktam. Rakta Pitta Kabholkledi. Shuktam Vadanulomanam. Rakta Pitta Kabholkledi Shuktam Vadanulomanam. Bhrishoshna Tikshna Rukshamlam Hridyam Rujikaram Saram. Deepanam Shishirasparisham Pandu Drikkrimi Nashanam. Pandu Drikkrimi Nashanam. Raktapitta Kabhulkledi, something which can cause ulklesham of Rakta Utkledam of not ulklesham, Utkledam of Raktam and Pittam and Kapha. So it can create the sort of Utkledam in this Rakta Pitta Kapham. Then it is Vadanulomanam. It is Vadanulomanam. Shuktam is an Amladravya. Shuktam is again an Amladravya. Bhrishoshna Tikshna Ruksha Amlam. Bhrisha Amlam. Bhrishoshna Tikshna Ruksha Amlam. Hridyam. Hridyam. So it is good for Hridayam. That does not or need not mean that it is good for the muscular heart or nothing like that. It is excellent in it is Vadanulomana property, and this is a general properties of Amladravyas. This is Vadanulomanatum and Hridyam and everything. Rujikaram and Saram. It is Rujikaram and Saram. There is a Padhabedam for that Saram, like Param, Hridyam, Rujikaram, Param. Anyway, I think being an Amladravya, it can be Saram as well. Deepanam, it is Deepanam. Shishirasparsham, all Amladravyas are having Shishirasparshadha. It is Pandunashanam, that means Pandurogaharam. Driknashanam means it can cause harm to the Drik, Drishti, and Kriminashanam, it is Krimiharam. This is the properties listed out for Shuktam, and generally Shuktam is the preparation which is otherwise known as vinegar. It is a type of preparation which is otherwise what we call these days as vinegar, and which is of course an Amladravyam. There may be many methods of preparing this Shuktam. If you refer to the different textbooks regarding the Aushadha Nirmanam, you will find different ways of making the Shuktam. In one context, we find that, okay, Kandamula Bhaladini Sasneha Lavanani cha Yatra Dravye Ebhishuyande Tachuktam Abhidhiyate. So Kandamula Bhaladini, taking all these things, Kandam, Moolam, Bhalam, etc., etc., because you are not supposed to put whatever is available specifically. All these are choices. You can either use one particular, either use Kandam, and in the Kandam itself you use a particular type of Kandam. Regarding Moolam, you use a particular type of Moolam, particular type of Bhalam, like that, and the output will be, or the product will be different types of Shuktam. You can get it. Then add Sasneha, Lavanam, Sneham, and Lavanam, and this will be kept as such for specific days to create Shuktam. Then we find many different methods as well. That means like Yenmastwadi Sujau Bhande Sa Gudakshaudra Kanjigam Dhanyarashau Triratrastham Suktam Taduchyade. So that is another way of making Suktam. Mastwadi, that liquids like Mastu. Then in a clean vessel, add along with this Mastu, etc. That means different types of Drava according to the product required. Sa Gudak Shaudra Kanjigam, add Gudam, Shaudram, and Kanjigam, and keep it closed in a Dhanya Rashi for 3 days. Then you get Shuktam. That may be a little bit sweet in the beginning, early time of its formation, but later it becomes Kalavasad Amlattvamagadam. It becomes very sour. It becomes very sour in its taste. So basically it is a preparations of this vinegars, Shuktam. So this Shuktam can also be judiciously used. There are many preparations in the Ashtanga Hridayam itself. We find Purika Shuktam and similar preparations we can use. So it is a Shuktam prepared out of a specific drug called Purikam, and it will have got that particular properties. You are making use of a particular Amla Dravya with a very precise indication. Madhyam is also Amlam, Shuktam is also Amlam. Both are listed and explained under the Madhya Vargam, but the Shuktam is not that intoxicating like the Madhyam, even though both are Amla Vargam and having many properties in common. So that sort of advantages can be utilized. And I think these days different types of vinegars are available in plenty. You can get this coconut vinegar, then this apple cider vinegar, and these things are becoming some sort of a wellness buzzwords these days. In a health or wellness store, you go and find many types of vinegars prepared from different sources and with a specific benefits listed in the labels. So this is also a good source. Personally, I have tried to make use of this sort of preparations of this Amla Dravya for their Deepana property and that Kriminashana property. So that is a good potential. We may be able to outgrow the references in the text and find your own new applications based on the fundamental principles of Rasabhediyam. So that is also a possibility. So here we find that Shuktam in general. Then Gudekshu Madhya Mardviga Shuktam Laghu Yathottaram. I think this Shuktam is a type of acidic fermentation which is happening. In Madhyam, it is an alcoholic fermentation, whereas in this Shuktam formation, it is acidic fermentation, what is happening. And this can be made out of many ingredients, and the commonest being either Gudam or Ikshu or Madhyam or Mardvigam Shuktam. So Guda Shuktam, Ikshu Shuktam, Madhya Shuktam, and Mardviga Shuktam can be there. And they are Lekhu Yadhottaram, Gudekshu Madhya Mardviga Shuktam, Lekhu Yadhottaram. So that Mardviga Shuktam is the Lekhutamam, and the rest of the things are coming before that in that scale of Lekhuta or Lekhutvam. So that way it should be understood. Gudekshu Madhya Mardviga Shuktam Lekhu Yathottaram. Then Kandamula Bhaladyam cha Tadvad Vidyat Tadasudam. Tadvad Vidyad Tadasudam. So this can be made out of Kanda Mula Bhaladi. Kanda Mula Bhaladi. And if you make Asutam, some sort of a Madhya Vishesham, using Shuktam and Kandamula Bhaladi, then obviously they will be generating the properties of that particular Shuktam in the that Sandhana Vishesham as well. Kandamula Bhaladyamscha Vidyad Tadvad Tadasudan. Then one more preparation he is introducing, which is known as Shandagi or Chandagi. There are some differences in opinion among the commentators what this Shandagi is. Generally, it is believed that it is a sandhanam of patram, leaves in Madhya. The sandhana vishesham made out of leaves in Madhyam is known as Chandagi or Shandagi. There are many other different opinions as well. Chandagi, Kandamuladi, Mudgadi, Vadagai, Kritaha, that sort of explanations you can find in the Hemadri commentary and so on. Anyway, we do not know what this exact preparation is. We have to, I think, our Dravya experts, or because this is fermentation is an independent branch these days, science of fermentation, how the different things can be generated out of fermentation and followed by distillation as well. So I think there are plenty of information available. So my request is our Dravya experts and Bheshaj experts work hard on these topics and come up with some clinically beneficial products, because Madhyam is having a very important advantage. It is Ashukari, and it is many other properties, like it is Sukshmam, it is Vyavayi. So this Madhyam can be used for many positive purposes. As you all may be knowing, most of the homeopathic medicines are prepared out of this Madhyam, that spirit, not the wine or beer, but the spirit, that alcohol. And it is, of course, a matter of great contradiction, but still it is a fact that within this Madhyam, the concentration of this medicines are minimized to the best level possible, and still they retain the potency, the Aushadha Vidya. So that sort of a thing is there. My Gurunathan was a very special type of Vaidya, I should say. He was using this Arishtam or Rasavam along with the Kashayam in a mixed form, and he was a champion of that sort of modifications, I should say, for the sake of the clinical outcome and as well as the expense part. For example, in Kerala, I do not know everybody is knowing it or not. This Asavarishta formula, they are available in 450 ml bottles, standard packing, and Kashayam will be in 200 ml bottles. This is a standard preparation or a packing size in Kerala. And standard dosage in an adult is 15 milliliters of Kashayam, adding 60 milliliters of or 45 milliliters of boiled cool water. That is one single dose. This is how it is dispensed. So one bottle of 200 ml of Kashayam will be sufficient for 6 full days and one dose on the 7th day. So practically 6.5 days. And on an average, this one bottle of Kashayam will cost somewhere around 100 rupees sometimes, or 150 or 120 or something like that. So practically 6 days of Kashayam will be costing somewhere around, on an average, some 100 rupees or 120 rupees. That means for the Kashayam alone, one day the patient has to spend nearly 20 rupees per day. And interestingly, neither the Vaidya nor the Rogi will have any idea about how many days we have to use this Kashayam till the disease is healed. Sometimes it may be a week, sometimes it may be a year. So we will keep on prescribing the medicine. The patient will keep on purchasing the medicine and consuming it. So the cost of Ayurvedic treatment become very expensive. This need not be the practice, obviously, but this is the practice, obviously. I know that in Maharashtra there is a different style of practice. In Karnataka there may be a different type of practice. We will be using single herbs in powder form as very minute dose of bhasmam or gutika rasa preparations. All these things, of course, they are really good as far as the cost factor is concerned. But in Kerala, the conventional prescription prescribing style is like this. And if this Arishtamasvam preparation, which is 450 ml, is much cheaper. Say, for example, you may get a 450 ml of most commonly used Arishtam for around maybe 80 rupees or something like that, less than 100 rupees anyway, in most of the situations. So when you mix this 450 ml of Arishtam with 200 ml of Kashayam, total bulk becomes 650, and the cost will be less than 200 in total, around 200 maybe. And this will be lasting for almost 14 days. This will be lasting for 14 days. So for 14 days, you are spending 200 rupees. Whereas Kashayam alone, you will be spending 200 rupees or 120 rupees for 6 days. So 20 days on an average. Whereas there, I think it will be around maybe 12 rupees or something like, or 13 rupees maximum. So still, I think there is a huge difference of 7 rupees per day. And the action will be faster. And the kashaya, the preparation as such will be more palatable. Because, of course, these are sweet. So sukho bhogata is there, especially if the patient is a child. I think definitely this is going to be more beneficial. This sukho bhogata is going to be an advantage. So that way, many things, I think many aspects are there in mixing of this kashayam and arishtam, and the most important is the cost factor. So that way, I think we can make lot of positive uses from this a proper understanding of this asava arishta kalpana or madhya kalpana and everything. But unfortunately, we give the least consideration to this part of the textbook. Fine. Then we come to dhanyamlam. I think just 1 minute. My Gurunathan used to tell very frequently that we should try making this special medicines like homeopathic medicines by adding that maybe asom or something of that sort, or some gutika in rectified spirit, and doing the same process of homeopathic medicine fortification or potentizing, what they call it as technically. And then I think with maybe 1 Vidwadi Gulika or maybe 5 Vidwadi Gulika, you may be able to prepare the medicines which are sufficient for maybe 100 people, just with the 5 Vidwadi Gulika or so. So that sort of experiments are worth pursuing, I think. So anybody who is interested can work on such aspects, and the outcome could be really beneficial. Okay, now we come to dhanyamlam. Dhanyamlam bhedi tikshnoshnam pittakrit sparshasitalam shramaklamaharam ruchyam deepanam vastishulanut shastam asthavane hrudyam laghu vatakapapaham. Dhanyamlam bhedi tikshnoshnam. Dhanyamlam is bhedi tikshnam ushnam pittakrit sparshashidalam shramakhlamaharam ruchyam deepanam vastishulanut. And shastam asthapane hrudyam laghu vadakapapaham. Shastam asthapane hrudyam laghu vadakapapaham. So dhanyamlam is a type of preparation. It was very famous among the Vruddha Vaidyas of Kerala, making of this dhanyamlam out of various types of dhanyam which are available in plenty in our locality. So I think there will be different styles of making dhanyamlam, And Dhanyamlam was a medicine which is very liberally used in Vadavyadhi Chikitsa in Kerala. Dhanyamla Dhara, Sarvanga Dhanyamla Dhara was a very commonly practiced and is a very commonly practiced treatment procedure in Vada Roga Chikitsa. And the Vaidyas, even in the smallest of a setup within their hospital premises also, most of the Vaidyas can manage to make the Dhanyamlam for their own purposes. So that way also it is really attractive. It is Pitta Krit. It is Pitta Krit. It can be used internally also. If it is properly prepared, this can be used internally, not for Dhara. Sparsha Sheetalam and Pitta Krit. Pitta Krit is in internal use, and Sparsha Sheetalam is, of course, in the Sparsham. Shramaklamaharam, Ruchyam, all these are in the internal use. Deepanam, Vastishulanut, all these are in internal use. Shastam Asthapane. Again, it is very, very liberally used in Kashayavasti, and in most of the situations of this Vaitaranavasti, instead of this Dhanyamlam substitutes Gomutram. It is more safe that way. If the source of the Gomutram is not trustworthy, or if it is contaminated, I think there are some risks, inherent risks in its usage these days. It is not as safe as it used to be in the olden days. So as an alternative, an effective alternative, you can use Dhanyamlam in Asthavanam. Hridyam Leghu Vadakabhapaham, all these things are internal use. So that is about Dhanyamlam, which is also included as an amlam. As an amlam, it is included in the Madhyavargam. Fine. Then Ebhireva Gunair-yuktam Savviragatushodhage. Savviragatushodhage. Savviragam and Tushodhagam. These are again a type of Dhanyamlam. That is why it is mentioned that Ebhireva Gunair-yukte. These Savviragam and Tushodhagam is also having same properties like Dhanyamlam. Generally, it is documented that the Savviragam is the Dhanyamlam made out of that Yavam with the husk, where the husk is not removed. Whereas Tushodhagam, Tushodhagam is the one which is made using Yavam with husk, and Savviragam is the Dhanyamlam made out of Yavam where the husk is removed. Nistusha Yavam Kridam Dhanyamlam is known as Savviragam, whereas Satusha Yava Dhanyamlam is known as Tushodhagam. So that is one understanding about this Savviragam and Tushodhagam. So they are also having the properties of the classical Dhanyamlam. Ebhireva Gunair-yukte Savviraga Tushodhage Krimi Hridroga Gulmarsha Panduroga Nibarhane. Krimi Hridroga Gulmarsha Panduroga Nibarhane. The interesting thing is, wherever you find this loose references or say passing reference of this Krimi, sometimes I'm very eager, very curious to see this usage of Krimi in different contexts, because they may be having a very highly significant role in the management of Koshta Vyadis or Koshtajanya Vyadis. They may be able to work very effectively in the healthy management of Agni, in the manipulations of the so-called biome, gut microbiome, and these stuffs may be playing crucial role in conditions of gut dysbiosis. So wherever you find this krimi, just keep an eye on such situations. They may be the heroes of tomorrow. So this krimi hridroga gulmarsha panduroga nibarhane is very interesting. Te kramad vidushair vidyad satushaischa kride, which I already explained. So with that, I think we will come to an end regarding the Madhya Vargam. And as far as the Mutra Vargam in Ashtanga Hridayam is concerned, it is a very short explanation, which we will complete today. Of course, there are many parallel references regarding the Mutra Vargam in many other textbooks, including Ashtanga Sangraham. But in any case, we will first finish the properties of that Mutra Vargam in general as explained in Ashtanga Hridayam. Mutram gojavi mahishi gajashyoshtraghharodbhavam pittalam rukshatikshnoshnam lavananurasam kadu krimi shobhodharanaha shulapandukabhanilan gulmaruji vishasvitra kushtarsamsi jayed laghu. Mutram gojavi mahishi gajashyoshtraghharodbhavam. Go, aja, avi, mahishi, gaja, ashwa, oshtra, gharodbhavam. 8 types of mutram. In general, samanyena, pittalam, pittavarthagam. Ruksha tikshnoshnam. All these mutra visheshas are ruksha tikshnoshnam. Kadu. They are having kadu rasam with lavananurasam. Lavananurasam kadu. Then krimi, not what we have discussed already. Krimi shobhodharana hasula pandu kabhanilan gulmaruji visha svitra kushtarshamsi jayed. Jayed. It can treat, it can heal these conditions of krimi adi arsha andam. All those conditions can be considered as situations where this mutra vargam has got a role to play, and by and large it is laghu. Mutram is laghu. Jayed laghu. So that is a brief note on mutra vargam, whereas we will find many other things in other textbooks. Say for example, regarding the chagamutram, we find shwasakasaharam chagam, shwasakasaharam chagam. Chagam means chagam mutram. Puranad karnashulajit. Puranad karnashulajit. When you go to the that karnaroga chikitsa, you will find it. This sort of usage is explained. It has got such an effect. It is karnashulajit. Then dadyad kshare kilaseja gajavaji samudbhavam. Dadyad kshare kilaseja gajavaji samudbhavam. Gajavaji samudbhavam mutram. This is what I am reading is from Ashtanga Sangraham. It is not there in Ashtanga Hridayam. Gajavaji samudbhavam mutram kshare dadyad. You can give this in the use this in the preparation of ksharam. Gaja vaji samudbhavam. Gaja mutram and vaji ashwamutram. Vaji is ashwam. Kilasecha. In the treatment of kilasa, you may use this. In the treatment of kilasa, you may use this gajavaji samudbhavam. Then handyunmadam apasmaram krimin meham cha rasabham Rasabham mutram. Rasabham means the urine of donkey. It handi unmadam apasmaram krimin meham cha. Rasabham mutram unmadam apasmaram krimin meham cha handi. It is effective in conditions of unmadam apasmaram krimi meham. Then again we find some more explanations regarding the shagrit of certain animals in Ashtanga Sangraha. Edesham shagrit, the shagrit of these animals, they are having certain properties like kashaya tiktam edesham hidhma shwasaharam shagrit. So we are using all these things in different contexts. We are using shagrit rasam sometimes. As you all know that panjagavyam, panjamahisham, panja ajam, all these things can be used in different context. So that also should be properly and judiciously made use of. Even that manushamutra, naramutra, that is also very effectively used. There is an independent branch even of interventions, and there are some textbooks also, like this Shivambukalpana, or one famous book which popularized this auto urine therapy is known as the Fountain of Life or something like that, which is again a very popular work. And we find certain references regarding the usage of manushamutram as well, which is like manusham tu vishapaham, manusham mutram tu vishapaham. Which visham? Anything which is against ojas can be considered as visham. So it can fight against any principle which opposes ojas. That way, naramutram garam handi sevidam tadrasayanam. That sort of explanations also we find. So with that, I think we will conclude. The last shloka in the Adhyaya goes like this. Toya kshire kshutailanam vargaihi madhyasya chakramad. Toya kshire kshutailanam vargaihi madhyasya chakramad. Idi dravaiga deshoyam yathasthulam udahritaha. With this, whatever we have seen in this classifications of Toya Vargam, Kshira Vargam, Ikshu Vargam, Taila Vargam, Madhya Vargam, and Mutra Vargam. Mutra Vargam is not included in the shloka, but anyway, we saw that also. Drava Egadeshaha. I have tried to explain Egadesha. Some of the Dravam, Dravadravya, some of the Dravadravya, which are most commonly used or are in the mainstream, they are explained in this chapter. Yathasthulam means like the most commonly used or the most commonly present in the as far as the utility is concerned. They are explained in this chapter. Idi dravaiga deshoyam yathasthulam udahritaha. Idi Sri Vaidyapadi Simhagupta Soon Srimad Vagbhada Virajitayam Ashtanga Hridaya Samhitayam Sutrasthane Dravadravya Vidnyaniya Nama Panchamodhyaya Samaptaha. So with that, we conclude today's session sharp 9 o'clock. If there are something which can be added by anybody, there will be many things. You see this Bilvadi Gulika type of things, or Shadharanam type of Gulikas. Everywhere we are using plenty of this Mutra Varga preparations. And I always wonder, because of the very attractive properties of this donkey's urine, why don't we try preparing Bilvadi Gulika in this Rasabha Mutram instead of Ajamutram? Obviously, it's a certain potency in cases of the Apasmaram and Unmadam may be fortified. Definitely, I will try it one day. and I'm already trying. Unfortunately, we don't have much donkeys in my place. So anyway, I think that is also worth trying for somebody who has got an access to such dravyas. Definitely, that will be an improvisation, and it will be beneficial also. So with that, I conclude.
Yes.
Vaidya Nilesh? Yes.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful session once again.
The relaxing thing is that we concluded that chapter after all. I think we took some maybe some 10 episodes or 10 sessions, something
No,
like
this
that.
is the
Or
13th session.
13th session on Dravadravya Vidnyaniya. Maybe the
Yes.
record. Somebody who's taking 13 sessions to complete Dravadravya.
The important thing is that means you try to elaborate each and every aspect of the chapter. That is the most important thing. This what we can say, completion of this each and every chapter, actually, not only Dravadravya Vidnyani, every chapter which we are covering. I think more and more we are getting affinity towards all these chapters from Ashtanga Hriday.
Very good. That is really a very, very happy news.
Yes. If anybody
So what
wants
will
to
be our
add
next
or
plan? We will continue with our sessions. What is the general opinion? Should we continue with our Anna Sarupa Vidnyaniyam, Anna Samrakshaniyam and everything?
yes, already we are getting yes, sure, yes. A bit one, I think.
Anyway, we will continue. We will continue.
Yes,
All right.
definitely, sir. And as you get time, or as we discussed that day,
Yes.
whenever you find time on weekdays, we can continue on that day, and Sundays we will plan accordingly, morning and evening sessions like that.
Yes. Alternative Sundays. I think because of my slight change in my practice hours, alternate Sundays we will be having the sessions morning and evening.
Yes,
Alternate Sundays.
yes,
So this
I will
Sunday, this 31st, we have had it in the evening. Next Sunday, we will have it in the morning. Then the next Sunday, it will be in the evening, like that. Very sorry for that. But Vaidya Nilesh is taking all the pain to arrange it properly and communicate it promptly. So that is important.
and it's my pleasure, sir, and I'm really feeling nice to conduct all things, to communicate between you and all the students, all the Vaidyas who are really enjoying all these sessions, and really they are being benefited. They are improving in their knowledge and everything. So that's the main task or the main motto behind this activity. As far
Great.
as people are benefited with this, the Shastra is being benefited, we are really happy with this thing which we are doing. And it's my pleasure to continue with this session.
Okay, Vaidya Nilesh. Great. We will go ahead. As long
Yes.
as there are takers, I think there will be givers as well. Okay then. Shubharatri to all
Yes.
of you.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone.